You've found the job that you want and you've been given an offer. How do you negotiate your pay and counter that job offer? Hi, I'm Marisa Santoro, and I help professionals own their value so they can consistently stand out and increase their impact and income in their careers. Today we're talking about negotiating your salary. So I want to give you a couple of things to do that are proven to be effective and do not hurt your chances of still keeping the job offer that you've been given. So the first thing that you want to do is before that actual job offer comes across the table, you want to know that you have a very solid understanding of what the numbers are. The numbers for what your role is, not the numbers for what your previous job was, right? So I have heard from so many people over the years that when you do your research and know the ranges of your particular job, that's when you can come armed with a lot of more solid information that you can then come to the bargaining table with. And when I say bargaining table, this isn't an official bargaining table, right? This is just a conversation when you're given that job offer. But if you don't have the research and you don't know the ranges, right? When I say ranges, I mean, let's just say a range for someone as senior as you, right? With as much experience, with the skill sets, maybe even if there's a certification involved, right? That's what I mean by research. Maybe opposed to taking that senior level and looking at something a little bit more junior. Or maybe if it goes across sector, right? It might be in your case. So you really want to make sure that you come armed with that research before you're prepared to do and negotiate that offer that's been given to you. Now, when you hear the offer, if you feel like it is not within that range or you feel like, you know what, I can probably do a little bit better, then I want you to feel free, and this is the gutsy moves in play here, I want you to feel free to say the words, you know what, that's a little bit too low. Here's what I was thinking. Okay, so you want to write those words down. That's a bit too low than what I was expecting. But here's what I was thinking. Now, when you're giving an offer, sometimes, offers don't come with one standard number, right? You might be given a salary plus a bonus, right? Which is the total comp amount. Some companies even give you a, stock options, whatever that might be. So you do want to total all of the, the total compensation, just so you can have a clear level playing field when you're having this conversation. So those are the words that you can say. Now remember, you've done all that research, right? So you're coming in here with intelligence. You're coming in here with a very good understanding of what the market value is for you and for the role that you've been selected for. Now, it's not enough to say, well, you know what, I think that's a little too low. You want to give them something to work with, right? So you can't just be blanket and where you walk away and just, state your disagreement and not follow it through. So you want to give them something to work with, right? So initially you want to approach it as excited, right? Thankful that you have it, right? Let them know that you're very excited to take on the role. And then let them know why you feel that the offer they've given you is too low. So you want to cover things like your skills, your experience, your knowledge of the market, right? You want to go into all of those things, right? Go into the nitty-gritty. If you've taken any of my my coaching programs, if you've read my book or our Own Your Authority Deep Dive, which is the full coaching program based on the book, you'll know what I mean when I say knowing your numbers, knowing your metrics. So just as if, you were in your role full time and ready to go, like a regular day, you always want to promote your metrics, right? So this isn't even just about a job interview. This is just about, general leadership strategies here. You always want to go in speaking to numbers. Why? Because people retain numbers, they digest numbers, they can work with numbers, they can be summed up, they can be percentages off those numbers. We can go wild with the numbers. So you want to, again, focus on the areas that that justify why you feel that you should be given a higher number. And then close that meeting with excitement again, right? Always say thank you, and then wait it out. Now, let's go back to what other numbers that we're talking about here. So you don't want to just state your desire, let's say a 15% higher salary, or let's say it's not even a job offer. Maybe you just want, more flexibility and you want to work from home one day a week, right? It doesn't even have to be numbers related or comp related. you want to explain why it's justified, right? Why it's justified, why you're asking. So before we spoke about the justification being your skills, your experience, and so on. But if it's flex time that you're looking for, then maybe the reasons you're coming to the table and asking for more is because, you know what, you have a child that comes home from school early on Fridays and you need to be there, right? That's your arrangement. That's something that you can share as well. You also want to share, the reasons why you are asking for more comp. So go with a number, right? Give them a number to work with. Don't just leave it loosey-goosey so they can go back, right? And then come back with you with something solid. And, if it feels right, and I always suggest this, it does depend on the situation. If let's just say your bigger number is really maybe just a 10 or 15% increase, ask for 20 so that they can come down a little bit, right? So let's just give them a little bit of wiggle room in case they do come back and don't accept the initial ask. All right, and if you've been following me for a while now, you know that Gutsy Leadership is about going into any situation, whether it be an interview, negotiating an offer, speaking with your manager, managing up, going in for a key client meeting. You always want to go in there with high intention, low attachment. High intention meaning you are very clear on what it is that you're asking for and very clear on what you want to create by the time you leave that room, that phone call, that Zoom meeting, whatever it might be. But low attachment. High intention, low attachment. Let it go, right? That doesn't mean give up. It just means, you know what, you went in there with your 3 things, or the things that we just talked about, in this case, a job offer. You went in there and very rationally laid out your case as to why you feel like you should have a better job offer, right? Given your assets that you're bringing to the table. And then low attachment, let it go, right? And move on to the next one and see what else is out there. So I hope this was helpful. I'm Marisa Santoro with In Our Shoes, and reach out with a comment. I'd love to hear your gutsy moves and anything you took away from this. Thank you. Bye now.